The lights inside the luxury car showroom shimmered like diamonds. Polished marble floors reflected rows of million-dollar vehicles. Sales executives stood in perfect suits, smiling at wealthy clients. At the center of it all was Adrian Cole, a billionaire known for his empire of high-end automobile dealerships. He adjusted his cufflinks, glanced at his reflection in a shining black car, and smiled, a man who had everything. But that morning, something felt empty. He watched a homeless man outside the glass walls, shivering in the cold, ignored by everyone walking past. Adrian turned to his assistant and said quietly, "Cancel my meetings tomorrow. I want to disappear." If you lost your wealth, your status, and your identity for just one day, would people still see your worth, or would they only see your clothes? At least that's what the magazine said. But the truth was softer and sadder. He had built his fortune after losing everything once before, and somewhere along the way, success had built walls around his heart. That night, he couldn't sleep. The image of the homeless man outside his showroom kept replaying in his mind. The man had pressed his hands against the glass, staring at the warmth inside. The next morning, Adrian did something no one expected. He shaved unevenly, wore torn clothes, rubbed dirt onto his hands, and left his mansion without security, without his phone, without his name, for one day. Adrian Cole would not exist, only a nameless man on the streets. He stood outside his own showroom, the same place where customers once rushed to shake his hand. Now, security blocked him before he could. "Step near the entrance. Move along," one guard said coldly. Adrian looked into the guard's eyes. He had personally hired him. But the guard didn't recognize him. Not without the suit, not without the car. Adrian stepped aside, heart tightening. It had been less than an hour, and already he was invisible. Hungry and uncertain, Adrian walked to a nearby café he owned. The smell of coffee filled the air. Inside, people laughed and tapped on laptops. He opened the door. Conversations stopped. The barista frowned. "We don't allow loitering. I just need some water," Adrian whispered. A woman covered her child's eyes as if he were dangerous. Adrian felt something break inside him. He owned the café, but today he wasn't even worthy of water. He turned to leave, and that's when a small voice stopped him. "Sir, wait." It was a young waitress, maybe 19 years old. Nervous, but kind. She stepped outside and handed him a paper cup and a sandwich wrapped in tissue. "I don't have much," she said softly, "but everyone deserves to eat." Adrian's hands trembled as he accepted it. No one had spoken to him that gently in years. Later. Adrian sat on a cold park bench, watching life pass by. A businessman walked past while shouting on his phone about profits. A luxury car drove by one of his own brands. For the first time, he saw the world from the other side of the glass. An elderly homeless man sat beside him. "You're new," the man said. Adrian nodded. First day hurts the most, the man continued. "Not because you're hungry, but because you realize people don't look at your face anymore. They look at your condition." The words hit hard. Adrian had spent years judging resumes, appearances, confidence. How many invisible people had he overlooked? By evening, rain began pouring. Cold, relentless. Adrian had nowhere to go. No driver, no penthouse, no umbrella. He stood under a bridge, soaked and shivering. And then something unexpected happened. The young waitress from earlier appeared. She was carrying a plastic bag. "I thought you might still be around," she said shyly. Inside the bag was a blanket. Asterisk, you came back. Adrian asked. Asterisk, she smiled. My father used to sleep outside before someone helped him. I just tried to continue that. Adrian's eyes filled with tears. All his billions, and yet this girl with almost nothing had given him more warmth than his empire ever had. Asterisk, the next morning. Adrian returned home. Asterisk, he showered, put on his tailored suit, became Adrian Cole again. But something had changed. At noon, he called an emergency company meeting. Asterisk executives gathered, confused. Adrian stood silently for a moment before speaking. Yesterday, I was denied water. At my own café, I was pushed away from my own showroom. And I was saved by someone who earns less in a month than I spend on dinner. The room fell silent. He announced immediate changes. Asterisk, all company cafes would provide free meals once a day to the homeless. Every dealership would partner with shelters. The young waitress would receive a full scholarship and be promoted. Asterisk. Employees would be trained in compassion, not just customer service. Asterisk, some executives protested about profit margins. Asterisk. Adrian's voice grew firm. Asterisk, if our success depends on ignoring humanity, then we are already bankrupt. Asterisk, that evening. Tyrion returned to the cafe not as a billionaire. Asterisk, he walked in wearing a simple jacket. Asterisk. The young waitress froze when she recognized him from news articles. Asterisk, tears filled her eyes as she realized who he truly was. Asterisk, you. Asterisk, Adrian. Smiled gently. Asterisk. Yesterday, you didn't know my name, and you helped me anyway. That makes you richer than I'll ever be. Asterisk, she cried. Not because he was powerful, asterisk, but because kindness had been seen. Asterisk, and valued. Asterisk, asterisk. If someone stood in front of you with nothing, no money, no title, no status, asterisk, would you see a problem? Would you see a human being? Asterisk, because sometimes the greatest wealth is not what we own, asterisk, but how we treat those who have nothing.